are going to talk about decluttering clothing. Thanks to Dawn of the Minimal Mom for putting together Clutter-Free January, where all kinds of people do YouTube videos on the same subject. Decluttering clothing is this week's subject. Thanks for including me, even though I don't make very many videos, but anyway. Okay, so here we are talking about clothes, and I'm going to give you 4 ways to declutter clothes without using math. Those of y'all who are like, who would use math to declutter clothes? Y'all go on to the next video. Those of y'all who are like, oh yeah, I've always tried to use math and gotten really confused when I needed to declutter clothes, you stick around, all right? So here's the thing about using math to declutter clothing. People like me who tend to get very overwhelmed with clutter, overwhelmed with stuff in our house, like to figure things out before we actually take action. Okay? We like to have a plan. We like to know exactly how everything is going to go. And so what I used to do is I'd be like, oh my goodness, I need to declutter. And so I would sit down at the table with paper and pencil, maybe a calendar, and go, okay, let me figure out ahead of time exactly how many clothes I'm gonna need. And I would be like, okay, well, I wear this type of thing this many times a week, and then I would wear, okay, something, and then, and meanwhile, by the time I was done with that, my decluttering energy was gone and my house was no better off. So what I have found works a whole lot better is just to actually declutter clothes. Now, in my book, Decluttering at the Speed of Life, my 5-step process for decluttering that applies anywhere in your house, I apply it to your closet, your bedroom, you know, like clothing in general. Like you can use that process, but we're going to talk about just some easy ways to kind of start rethinking how you feel about clothing as clutter. And let me just explain really quick too, that I used to not understand that clothing could be clutter. I didn't know that because clothing is useful, and useful stuff I didn't think could be clutter. Y'all, useful stuff can totally be clutter. I define clutter as anything that consistently gets out of control in my home. If it consistently gets out of control, I have too much of it. And I need to get rid of some of it. I need to declutter until I get it down to the point where I personally am able to keep it under control consistently. Clothing, oh my word, I totally could not keep it under control. So here are some ways for you to declutter clothes without using math. Y'all know what I'm about to say, right? If you watched last week's video, because habits and decluttering go together. Routines and decluttering go together. And I'm telling you, the #1 way to change your perspective on how many clothes you need in your home and to just magically reveal to you what clothes you don't need to keep is to get a laundry routine going. I am not going to go into my laundry routine here other than to tell you it's not what most people do. I do a laundry day. I could not do the 1 load a day that every expert in the world tells you should do, because I would start the load, forget about it, and the next day go, oh yeah, I was going to do laundry every day, and come back to it, and then it smelled funny, and I had to run it again, and then I never actually got my laundry under control. So that routine didn't work for me. I have a laundry day. I'll do another video maybe at some point where I'll explain that to you. But it's in my book, How to Manage Your Home Without Losing Your Mind. There are 2 chapters. 1 chapter tells you how exactly it works. It takes 3 weeks to actually really get it under control. The 2nd chapter answers all of the resistances that you have to doing laundry day. I know, because they were my own resistances, and yet it works the best for me of anything. So, laundry routine. Guys, if you have a laundry routine, you will naturally start to see what clothes your family actually wears and which ones stay in their drawer or stay in their closet. Because if clothes are consistently clean all the time on a regular basis, then they're going to choose their favorite clothes and leave the ones that they don't like in their drawers, which we're going to talk about in a minute, how to make your brain go, oh, that's happening in my house, okay? But yeah, so the laundry routine is everything. It is very hard to declutter clothing without a laundry routine because of the same thing we talked about in last week's video, which is that vicious cycle of excess, which is, I feel like I'm always short on clothes because I don't have clean clothes to wear. Therefore, I think I need to buy more clothes. But as I buy more clothes, then I can go longer before I have to do laundry, because that used to be how I did laundry, was waiting until we had to have clean clothes. So the longer I go, then the more overwhelming the laundry piles are. And I didn't have a routine at that time. And so it was like, oh my goodness, I've got to catch up, which makes me feel like I don't have enough clothes, which then makes me buy more clothes. And it's this vicious cycle. Okay. So that is the reality of clutter and clothes. Like clothes can be clutter. You got to have your laundry routine to get that under control. Okay. All right. Number 2, this one's a super duper easy one. Has to do with laundry routine, or you can just go ahead with it now. Guys, clean clothes in the dirty clothes hamper is a head explosion thing for moms everywhere, right? Okay, I mean, like, my kids would do that and I would be like, oh my word, what? And then all of a sudden I would find something clean in my dirty clothes. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I do that occasionally too. Here's the reality. Clean clothes end up in the dirty clothes because you don't actually want to wear them, okay? Generally it happens because you pick something up, take it out of the space where it's actually supposed to be, and then have a second thought and choose something else. So those are things that can easily be decluttered. So if I find clean clothes in my dirty clothes, my general rule is when that comes out of the dryer, because now it's touch dirty stuff, so it needs to, be washed again. But when that comes out of the dryer, it's going straight into the donate box, okay? So clean clothes in the dirty clothes, easy to declutter. Even if you like it, be realistic with yourself and say, my kid never actually wears this. They don't choose this item. And that's something you can go ahead and start doing before you have your laundry routine, okay? Let's talk about 2 other ways. Now we're going to talk about using the container concept to reveal which clothes are clutter. Here's the thing. The container concept changes everything. The short version of this concept that will completely transform your home, for real, it's kind of my big thing, is that every space in your home is a container, and the purpose of a container is to contain. It's to serve as a limit. I used to think containers, like the baskets and the little cute little buckets and stuff like that, were for putting things in. That's not what they're for. They're meant to serve as limits. And when I did realize that containers are meant to contain and be the limit to how much stuff I can keep, I realized every space in my home is a container, all right? Every shelf is a container, every drawer is a container, every cabinet, every closet, every room is a container in my home. And here's why that is so helpful to me. If I have more stuff in a space than will fit and let it be usable as it's meant to be usable, I have too much stuff and I need to purge that space. So here's how that works with clothing. Just so you know, there's a chapter in Decluttering at the Speed of Life that really goes deep into the container concept. I've also got lots of podcasts where I talk about it and all that. So if that was like mind-blowing to you, which some of y'all are like, who doesn't know that? A lot of us didn't know that. Okay, so the drawer that you put your clothes in, if it doesn't close because you have more clothes than fit in that drawer, then you need to declutter. I know, right? But don't start with the stuff that's on top. The stuff that's on top is the stuff that you've worn recently, washed recently, and put back recently, especially if you have your laundry under control. Start with the stuff that is on the bottom of the drawer. So if the drawer won't close, then the stuff on the bottom of the drawer is most likely going to be easy for you to declutter. So here, let's look at this example drawer. Okay, see my drawer? It won't close. Here's how I used to think. Oh my word, my drawer won't close. I don't have enough drawer space for my clothes. I need another drawer. Okay, I need another dresser. I need another chest of drawers. I need another closet. I need another house. I mean, like, that's just how my brain went when I couldn't fit my stuff in my space. When I realized that every space is a limit and every container is, meant to help me decide what I can and can't keep, then I realized, oh, it's not that I need a new dresser, it's that I have too many clothes. I can't have this many clothes and my drawer actually shut. And I want my drawer to shut, okay? Not that I always shut them, but I want them to be able to shut when I do go shut them. Okay, I had to say that for my husband's benefit. Anyway, so here we go. I've got clothes in here. It's not this item that needs to come out because this is the most recently worn. Instead, if a drawer won't shut, what I need to do is get the stuff out that's in the bottom, okay? All right, so, well, I have a place for summer clothes, and these are white, and I'm not gonna wear them because I'm from Texas and we don't wear white in the winter. Anyway, I do sometimes, but whatever. But I can easily go put these in my other space that where I have my off-season clothing. When I also look through this, I realize, oh, at the bottom of this space is a shirt that I don't actually wear. Why? Because I don't really love it. It doesn't fit me just right. Okay, so that's something easy that can go. And I'm gonna take those things there right now. So I'm gonna see if there's anything else. Oh, I've got my donate box. Anytime I'm decluttering, I'm gonna put my stuff in my donate box, okay? And I'm gonna take this to where it goes right now, that spot where, in my closet where I keep my off-season clothing. At this point, this can go. Let's talk about how some of you are probably thinking, oh, there is a folding technique, because I've heard about it, but I've never actually paid any attention to it whatsoever, that will help you fit more stuff in your drawer. That is awesome if it actually plays out in reality to work for you. That's great, but let's talk about clutter threshold, okay? Your clutter threshold is the amount of stuff that you personally can keep under control easily in your home. Some people do special folding techniques, enjoy doing special folding techniques, and enjoy putting things away using their special folding techniques, which I don't even know what they are, but I hear about them from all the time from people. And that allows them to keep more stuff in their space. If that works for you and it's maintainable, great. But that is not generally the answer, okay? For a lot of the people who are overwhelmed with the way that I was in my home, okay? For people like me, I needed less stuff. I didn't need to find ways to keep more stuff. I needed to just have less, because my reality is I am a, what do I need in this drawer? Grab it and go person. I'm not somebody who's going to neatly pull it out, and then if something else comes out when I neatly pull it out, then I have to rearrange that and I just don't do that. That's not my personality. And so it's better for me to have less stuff in there. I am not a good folder, as you can tell. I don't actually care enough. I'm sorry for those of y'all that it somehow physically bothers you. But the reality is I don't. Like, it doesn't matter to me, and so I'm not going to actually do that. If you do it, it's great, but that's not the answer. The answer is to have less stuff. The easiest way to have your house be maintainable is to have less stuff in it. So the easiest way to get this drawer to shut and always be able to shut is to take stuff out of it, so that the way that you normally live your life, there's only in there what will actually shut, okay? So this means that as you're putting stuff away as part of your laundry routine, if you go to put stuff away and the drawer won't shut once you have it all in there, then you have too much stuff in there. But it's easy because you're like, oh, I have done my laundry, I've kept up on my laundry, and obviously the stuff I'm just putting away is the stuff that my family's worn in the last week, and the stuff that was already in there is the stuff that they haven't worn, and so that makes it easy to get rid of that, okay? It's very it will be self-revealing. One last thing, in case you were wondering why this was over here. All right, this is a super easy tip, so ridiculous, but I mean, come on, I have to make myself do it. If there is a dust line on your hanging clothes, you can declutter it. I think I love this shirt, but guess what? The dust line, I went looking for an example. The dust line right here, okay, that reveals that I haven't worn it in enough time for it to develop a dust line, okay? So just use that as a super easy way. If you need to just get yourself going, go through and say, does anything have a dust line? It needs to go, okay? All right, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys will watch the other I hope you guys will watch the other videos and just get the inspiration that you need. I'd love to hear how you're doing on clothing in your closet. And don't forget that Dawn from The Minimal Mom, Cass from Clutterbug, and I have a course that is open through the end of January called Take Your House Back. You can go to takeyourhouseback.com, find out all about that. If you'd like to know, some people have said, well, I want to know exactly what's in the course. Well, down about halfway down the page, there is a big pink thing. I think it says course content or something like that. And you can click on those little down arrows, and it will actually show you the names of the different modules within the course and the different lessons within the modules. I am hearing amazing feedback from you guys. Like, I am excited. I mean, I knew it was good. I knew it was going to be helpful. I was beyond pumped after we filmed it because I was just like, this is going to be so good. But I love hearing from people who are like, I'm laughing and I'm learning. It has really lit a fire under me. I do want to say, for those of you who are my people, you identify as my people, all of the course content is available to you in the course. There is a Facebook group that you can join as a member of the course. I am going to just give you permission to not join the Facebook group. You won't miss anything because all the videos that go in there are also going to be loaded into the course. But I say that only because people like me tend to get very overwhelmed very easily. And as other people move on from, you know, the kitchen to the bedrooms or whatever, and you're still working on the kitchen, it can start to feel like you're behind. You're not behind. You have a whole year to do the course at your own pace, only the sections that you want, if you want to, just to work through and get through the way that you need to do it in your house. So join the Facebook group if that kind of accountability and cheerleading is helpful for you. I personally tend to rebel against too much cheerleading. I know. I have issues. Anyway, so it's something that I personally would not be part of, but a lot of people love it. Other people are like, it's overwhelming. You don't have to do that. I'm giving you permission and letting you know that you're going to get everything you need out of the course just by being in the course itself. Okay. Or you can join the Facebook group and turn off the notifications so you can just go see it when you feel like it. All right, it's been fun. Again, I'm Dana K. White of aslobcomesclean.com, the author of How to Manage Your Home Without Losing Your Mind and Decluttering at the Speed of Life, which are both available wherever books are sold in any format that you like, including ebook, you know, Kindle, Nook, all that kind of stuff, audio on Audible, all that stuff, so, and paperback. Anyway, okay, I will talk to you guys maybe next week, but don't pressure me.